Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to give you some tips about how maybe you can do a little better in your fundraising. I'm here with Sean Martin.
How are you, Keisha?
Fantastic. Thanks so much. Well, first of all, before we get into the tips, you got to tell me about this podcast. What is the Real Mentors podcast?
Sure. So in my hopes of making impact in communities of color, like where I come from in the Bronx, New York, I wanted to start a nonprofit. And then I started to see all the things that came along with that. And having been a successful entrepreneur in the private sector, it kind of turned me off to the idea of having my own. But I wanted to give a platform to all the people doing God's work in communities across the country. And so I formed the Real Mentors podcast. REAL is an acronym which stands for Real Examples Altering Lives. People from the community that have been fortunate enough to make it out and are willing to send the elevator back down. So there's plenty of organizations and they need a voice, and that podcast serves to give them a voice.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, then you are the perfect person to chat with about fundraising. But some people have some real fundraising struggles when it comes to trying to build their businesses, build their nonprofits. What kind of tips can you give them?
Focus on purpose. What is the purpose of the organization? Many times when people seek to start a nonprofit or any kind of business, the scope of what they're trying to accomplish is limited. It's not limited to them, but it's limited in the big scheme of things. So if we're looking to make institutional change, that is going to take generations. And in order to take generations and have the wherewithal and the resources to stay the course, you're going to have a huge and a very clear purpose and vision for that organization. And I think people don't realize they're thinking 4 or 5 or maybe even 10 years out. But the great organizations that we all know their names, they've been around for 40, 50, and some even, close to a century.
You're right. You're right. And I think that that part of the goal kind of gets, skipped a little, like you said, for someone who is, starting out a fledgling organization, sometimes we can be really myopic, right? We can think about that one thing, and then
Right.
we lose sight of the other aspects. Are there any tips on how to, stay the course and make it as big and as grand as it can be?
Sure. Truly transformative campaigns and organizations that are going to last lifetimes, outlive us. They're the ones that are anchored with a long-term vision that inspires investment in systematic change, not just support for a single initiative. So if we were raising money for a specific cause or a building or a fund or a person or a scholarship, then that's very short-term. And I think a lot of the needs come from short-term, issues or obstacles that come up, and that sparks the person that's in a great place and they're doing the right thing. They want to make good. But the ones that stick around, they're addressing systematic issues, and that takes patience, and that takes, more than anything, relationship capital. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So you've got to get in the right rooms with the right fundraisers and the right administrators, and you've obviously got to have the right team around you. But that all takes time, patience, and the know-how. I always like to say who, not how. What organization is closest to yours that you want to model, and see if you can get in the door there and just learn about how that works. And that's like a hack. But so many of us, just like entrepreneurs, we try to figure it out on our own.
You're right. You're right. You know what? I never even thought about the fact that so often we miss the partnership part. We miss the partnership piece of it. And it's huge. It's huge to growing. It's huge to, like you said, sustaining. And I think that
Right.
that's what people really want.
Absolutely. And, unfortunately, the truth with nonprofits is a lot of us are competing for the same funding, and there's not necessarily that teamwork mentality. It is a scarcity mindset where we're competing for the same dollars. And now with DEI and all the things going on, I think that we need to really take a creative approach to seeking private funding, because the writing's on the wall. I'm from New York, and the downward trend has been going on for 5 years now. We employ probably 19% of the private sector in New York State. 19% of the private sector jobs are through nonprofit organizations, which I believe is tops in the country. And that's been on a downward trajectory of about 5% in just the last 5 years. So you can blame it on the current administration, you can blame it on whoever you want, but the reality is it's coming, it's been coming, and they're looking to tighten the belt. So we've got to go to private funding and we've got to get more creative and we got to dial that vision in. And last, like we said, bring it full circle, we've got to work together as a team and understand that we are trying to help communities of color specifically. That's what we're here to talk about. And we've got to learn to play a little nicer. That scarcity mindset is undoing a lot of the good work that we can be doing if we did work together.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for making time for us. Thank you so much for these nuggets of information that we can each, build on and grow with. Please take this last opportunity to give a website where people can stay connected with you all.
Sure. Me personally, you can find me at therealseanmartin.com. You can find out more about myself. You can find more about my organizations and how I can help. And I've also got a book which is being released soon called Beyond the Bronx. And we're looking to get that out at the end of this quarter.
Oh, that's amazing. Thanks so much for making time for us today. It was good to meet you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Have a blessed day.
Absolutely. All
Take
right,
care.
guys, please take the opportunity to go to the website and learn more and stay tuned for more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.